Welcome back to my channel. This video I'm going to show you how I paint a very simple, I know it's easier said than done, but I'm going to be showing you some of the techniques I use to create these really nice landscapes. And I've had a comment saying that it's not easy. So what I'm going to do in this one, I'm going to try my best to break things down, try and make it as achievable as possible. In the video I want to try and show you as much of the painting process as possible. So this may include my colour mixing in the palette. I'll try and show you each step. So that I want to make things nice and easy for you. So if you are new to watercolour and find things a bit of a challenge, just bear with it, keep going. I'll show you some of the techniques that I use in order to get these effects. But I think most of all, the main thing is just having confidence in the brush, really sort of letting things happen. And I guess one of the things in watercolour is just try and manipulate the paint. You don't want to try and control it too much. There are a couple of ways of painting, but the way I like to do is the sort of natural way for me is to keep things nice and loose. I think the key is really not to stress too much, not to focus on detail, but just get an overall feel for the painting. Just have confidence, work quite quickly, and I'm sure you can achieve something that you'll be happy with. So that said, let's get straight into the video.
For my materials, I'm using this Fabriano Artistico paper. This is £140 cold press. I do like to use cold press mainly. And then I've got my #1 Hake brush, or Hake brush. I do like the bristles, the tips of this are nice, holds lots of water. And then my #10 squirrel mop, which is a Jackson's, and then this 2.0 Isobay, and then the Da Vinci #2. This is a fine liner brush. And then I'm going to be using my Schmincke Horadam paints, which I really do love to use. You can see the colours I've got. So in the top, the mixing wells, I never clean it out. Let me know in the comments if you like to keep your palette clean, or if you just go in and carry on using different colours. So first of all, with my #10 squirrel mop, just going in with this yellow mix. So I do keep yellow in this one, and then you can see next to that I've got a red sort of colour, and then maybe a green, and then a blue. So in this set I don't have yellow ochre, so I'm not really a fan of raw sienna. I just find it a little bit too weak, not very strong as a colour. But I do have a Naples yellow, which I do dip into just to lighten up this colour. It's more of a creamy consistency, and it'll give me the tone I want for the sky. So whenever you're mixing your colours, you want to make sure you got more than enough. So a lot of times you'll have lots of pigment left. So now with the Hake brush, I'm just adding the water, and I don't want it everywhere along where I'm going to have my sky. So I do want some white reserving, just to get some white in the sky, so some cloud formations. And then with this warm yellow, so it's raw sienna, and then some Naples yellow. I don't know why I don't have yellow ochre in this set. I think I did buy the set and it didn't come with it. And then I think I've just added different colours as I've gone along. I've also added in this pan set some super granulating paints. So I will get into that maybe a bit later on in the painting. So you can see the areas areas that I've left unpainted. So I do want some clouds in this area, and I'm sticking to this quite pale sort of muted yellow, just to give a bit of warmth and interest in the sky. Now, it's always interesting for me how you can add blues with the yellow and it doesn't turn to green. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. Now, in my palette, this section that I'm mixing here, you can see there was some, I presume it was probably some of the super granulating paints in this well, but I'm just going on with some French ultramarine, just mixing that, and then I'm going to pop in some of these blues into the sky. So these are my clouds with the paint that was already in the well. It's given me a little bit of a grey tint. Now you can see I did have a little splash on the paper, but it's not a big deal. These sort of things happen all the time. You might want to wipe that off if it's somewhere that you want to keep sort of clean. And then just a couple of additions to this that I haven't gone through is my spritzer bottle and tissue paper just to damp out. The spritzer bottle is really nice to use when you want more sort of more movement with the pigment, so it just helps that pigment come down. It helps mix together with the other colours, and you can see I've got some nice interesting things already happening. But if you keep watching, you'll see this is a really nice sky that really happens, and I don't really have much control. As I said in the beginning, it's just about manipulating and not trying to control the paint. And now I'm just lifting back some of the clouds, preserving that white area, and you'll see how this develops as I go along. Now, oftentimes I don't really fiddle too much when I'm painting the sky. I think the less fiddling you do, the more fresh it looks, and it just keeps things nice and easier for yourself. I think once you start messing and try and get these clouds and try and paint everything, then things can go wrong. And one of the things that you may have seen me on my videos do is the way I tilt my board just to get paint coming down at a different angle. I think I timed this one wrong. There's not really too much wet water on the surface at the moment, so I'm not getting the desired effect, but I'm happy with the way things are looking at the moment. So now I'm just going to touch in some more blue, get some darker tones, and you'll see how this builds up as I do so. So with the same brush, I'm just popping in the French ultramarine, and in that same pool of mix, just I wanted to add a bit of purple, so with burnt sienna now, just touch a little bit of that into the French ultramarine and you get this really nice purple. So this is really nice to use in the sky. And then I don't know what colour this is, but it's one of the dark earthy tones that I've got. Probably Van Dyke Brown, something like that, I'm not sure. Just to give a little bit more darker tone. So you can see the way this really does give interest to the sky, and I'll just keep doing that. So using the same mix that I've had for the sky, the clouds, I want to keep the same mix and just add little variants to it for the hills. I wish I knew the colours that I've got. This one that I'm dipping into now is almost like a neutral grey, but this is one of the super granulating paints, so hopefully you'll see the kind of effects that I get using this colour. Another thing about the super granulating paints of the Schmincke range, not only do you get the granulation of the paints, but you also get some sort of separation of different colours, which is really nice to use. Let me know in the comments if you use the super granulating paints. As I said, this is the Schmincke Horadam range. I'm not sure whether they do super granulating in any other brands, but I am a fan and I would like to invest in some more. I think I got 3 or 4 colours, so I do like to use those when I do use my Schmincke Horadams. Again, using the same mixes that I've already done, using the same paints, just may add a touch of blue or red to these tones, just to give me the colours that I want. And I wanted to have a little colour shift in the hills. This painting is something from imagination, and as I did the sky, I was really happy with the sky, and I wanted to have references for the hills. But I was out and I just saw the hills, I saw this dark, and that gave me inspiration to do this. This is one of my favourite techniques in watercolour, using a credit card just to scrape out some rocks. So you got these nice highlights of rocks in the landscape. And don't worry if you don't get this correct the first time. This is something you can always remedy. If your rocks aren't what you want, then you can always add some more pigment and do it, scrape them out again. So it really is quite a forgiving technique, quite easy to do. And even if you've never done it before, you really will be surprised how effective this is. So another way to help doing your rock scraping is once you've scraped out some of the highlights, and just go in with a darker tone underneath the highlights. Just give you the shadow area of the rocks, and that really does help your rocks to pop. And it also really gives a nice sense of realistic. In some ways, it just makes your rocks look realistic. So you can make it. It really does make a difference in your painting. And I like to do this especially in the foreground. It just gives a nice setting for the background. And I wanted to use a card again just to scrape out some branches, some stems. I wanted to add some little sort of sapling trees. And if you're scraping up and you hit some of that wet paint, you can also get some dark lines. So the paint sort of fills in the scratch, and so you can get highlights and you can get these dark branches as well. I think one of the best sort of things, one of the best practices in watercolor is it really comes down to consistency. So if you have time each week or each sort of day, if you can allow yourself some time just to get out your paints, and it don't really matter what you paint, just get used to painting and trying different things. And this might sound a bit strange, but just paint as if you don't really care of what happens on the paper. It just really does stop you from fussing. Try and paint as quick as you can, and that does also help to keep things nice and loose. But it really is down to confidence. Just try and get things down as quick as possible. Don't fuss around with details and use the biggest brushes you have, and that also eliminates fussing around with details. And there's a time when you get to a stage for details, if that's what you want to do. Then once you've got your main washes down, you can get a smaller tip and go along and add in detail. Or you can also use a pigment pen if you do have any drawing pens available. And that's pretty much it. Just try and just keep going, practice as much as you can, and just be consistent. I've been painting for a number of years now, and I think it's quite it's amazing how things have sort of evolved and things have improved. I know a number of years ago, if I was to paint from imagination, it's not something that I could have done. I always needed a reference, but that's one thing that I think I've improved on. I can paint and just really have no idea what I'm painting. It just sort of happens, and as I paint, take regular breaks. That's one of the other things I would suggest. If you take breaks, let your paint dry, evaluate what you've gone, and decide what you want to sort of do with your painting next, what you'd like to add. And that's pretty much it. Just popping in some birds now. I do like to pop in birds when these landscapes. Just gives it a bit of life. I really am happy the way the sky in particular has turned out. So you got these nice different colours. I think the super granulating paints have helped. You can see almost, you can see the edges of the darks. You've got this sort of red coming through. You got the granulation in the hills. But that's it. I really do like this one. I hope you do like it. Please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.